All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. It is your buddy CJ here. Tonight, we're talking about all things automotive industry, the car guy hobby, cars. You know what it is, guys. Listen, this is the place to be for all that real gearhead talk. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back, all my subscribers. You know I love each and every one of you. If you're new around here, guys, this is the place to be to talk about real car guy stuff. Come on. We have a lot of fun. We talk about supercars and sports cars and muscle cars and domestic cars and JDM and you name it. Guys, automotive events, rallies, road trips, car shows, manufacturers. We kind of get into a little bit of everything around here, don't we? And we have a heck of a lot of fun doing it. Guys, as you can see, listen, the Christmas holiday season is upon us. Your buddy CJ is excited. So much to be grateful for this year. It's been an incredible year, okay? And I love the holidays. I don't know about you guys. I love cars, and I get excited about cars, but I get excited about the holidays. Give me a break. Family, friends, exchanging gifts. Are you kidding me? Guys, listen, it's just a wonderful time of the year. And what better time of the year to talk about cars than right now? So let's get right into it. I got a special episode tonight. Going to be kind of quick. Going to be brief, kind of a quick hit. I want to talk about the tale of two markets. I want to talk about the current Corvette C8 ZR1 market. And I want to talk about the Porsche 911 GT3 market. I'm not going to do a deep dive quantitative analysis, dollars and cents of everything, leveraging databases of data and advanced analytics. Boring. Is this thing on? That would be way too boring for this channel, guys. Come on. We're just going to talk about it real quick. And I'm going to let you know what I think about these two markets. And these are two cars that I'm currently shopping for. I'm always shopping for cars. Are you guys like me? I mean, is it an addiction or what is it that we have? Is it a hobby or an addiction? That's my question for you. Leave me those comments, all right? Because you know I love hearing from you guys. But listen, it's a hobby and an addiction. How do you like that? There could be worse things. But I'm always shopping for cars. And two cars that I really have my eye on and have had for a while. One, the Porsche 911 GT3, which is, I've owned many cars throughout the years. And I'm not done yet. Porsche 911 GT3 is one that I want to snag. I love a lot of different 911s, but that's one that's always had my eye. I like the GT3 RS as well. And listen, I love Corvettes. I don't say I'm a Corvette guy because that's a whole other thing in our hobby. I'm not a Corvette guy. I like Corvettes, and I've owned a few, and I might own another one or two in the near future, but I'm not going to say I'm a Corvette guy. I ain't going that far, guys. Come on. I can make jokes about New Balance and all these things, but I promise I won't tonight. But guys, in all seriousness, let's talk a little bit about the two markets for these two highly desirable, high performance, super sports cars. Okay. And do I think it's the right time to buy right now? December 2025. Is this the right time to buy? Okay. Q4 2025, right now. Run out and buy your GT3. Run out and buy your Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. We're going to talk about that. So first things first, let's take a look at a couple things because on Hot Seat Automotive Podcast, we love looking at things together. Let's take a look at that Porsche 911 GT3. Listen, what can you say? The GT3s, the GT cars per se, I'd say over the past 10 years or so have just gotten red hot. Used to be the turbos, right? And the turbo S's, and they still have their market. More of a dentist car. Come on, guys. The GT3 has really gotten hot with a younger crowd, with the new entrants to the Porsche brand. Many of them said, if they had the assets, if they had the resources, I want the GT3. Big wing. They want that big wing action. If you're going to buy a GT3, you got to get the big wing. Who wants the touring? Don't tell me you want a touring. Nobody wants a touring. I was offered a touring allocation. That's a whole other story. And I don't want it. I don't want it. I need that wing. And I'm not even taking my GT3 to the track. Now, here's what I don't like. Leave me comments if you feel differently. You get a GT3, you got to get the wing. Now, listen, I know Porsche enthusiasts, and they will tell you, well, CJ, the GT3 Touring is the gentleman's version of the GT3. I'm no gentleman when I'm driving my performance cars. Give me a break. I'm an enthusiast. I'm a car guy. Give me the wing. I need the wing. Tell me if you guys agree. But GT3, listen, this thing's, many will say this is the ultimate car that you can daily with some incredible track qualifications and capabilities. It's about 500 horsepower, 992.2, right? The latest generation. It's got that wide stance, got the, they've been lightened, optimized suspension, all the things, the wing. I don't claim to know everything there is to know about GT3s like some guys do, but I've never owned one. I've owned multiple Porsches, multiple 911s, but never a GT3. I do know that if I'm speccing a GT3, I've got to have comfortable seats. There was a trend where everybody buying a GT3 had to get the carbon fiber seats because race car. And many of those guys were not track guys. Some were. But I know the ones I've looked at on the secondary market, I'm like, no thanks. I need to be comfortable. I need to be comfortable when I'm cruising around in my GT3. I'm going to do road trips. I'm going to rally it. I'm going to take it out to dinner. All the things that I do, my errands, I want a comfortable car. And those carbon fiber seats, listen, at this phase of life, no, I don't need racing seats. No, if I want to go drive a go-kart, I'll go do that. But here's the deal. I told you we talk about the market, right? Dealerships play political games with Porsche 911 GT3s and other premium Porsches. I'm going to say what needs to be said. And if you really know the market and you really have legit experience with Porsche 911s and Porsche dealerships, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm a realist. I'm not a hater. I appreciate the law of supply and demand. I've paid over market for cars. I've paid over MSRP. I have no issue with any of these things, okay? I believe in capitalism, okay? And I believe that dealerships are in the business of making money, and they should. Having said that, is right now the time to buy a Porsche 911 GT3? What I think is that this market is going to stay fairly stable. And in order to just walk into a Porsche dealership and spec and order your 911 GT3 at MSRP, not so fast. Most people are going to have to buy a Macan and a base 911 and a Panamera and a Taycan, and then maybe you'll eventually get your GT3 allocation. Real talk, And if you're really in the know, that's the way it is. Now, there are guys who've been buying and selling and trading 911s for years with their dealership and multiple dealerships. There are guys that have a dozen 911s, 20 911s. Dare I say that the super rich, so to speak, or just guys with massive car collections and who buy and sell cars constantly, those guys might be able to get a GT3 allocation. I'm not going to say easily, but easier than you and easier than me, right? Because I have actually, particularly this past year, been actively looking into getting one of these cars seriously. And I've been told by multiple dealerships who shall remain nameless. I'm not going to sit here and out dealerships specifically by name. Not going to do it, okay? What I am going to tell you is nothing that isn't common knowledge. Most dealerships will tell you, oh, not so fast. Sure, we maybe could get you a GT3 allocation, CJ, but you're going to have to do some things first. Can we interest you in this Carrera S or GTS? Would you be interested in buying a Panamera or a Taycan? I'm serious about these things. And then maybe, possibly, we can get you into those premium cars that we know you really want. So it's almost like they're dangling. They're constantly dangling the hook in front of you, so to speak. They're dangling the carrot in front of you. Okay, maybe that's a better analogy. And then, but it's kind of opaque. Like, okay, if you buy some other cars, by the way, at a premium, if you buy other 911s at a premium over MSRP, maybe we can get you into GT3 RS. The other thing you can do, to my knowledge, and I've been offered this as well, is to buy your way into an allocation. Like, what's an allocation worth to you? I've been offered allocations for $100,000, 80 grand, over the years. And listen, it's an in-demand product. It's a premium product. It's a highly desirable car. They're only going to make so many. It's a special car, no doubt. But let me tell you something. It's a decision only you can make, whether or not you're going to pull the trigger and front 50, 60, 80, 100K, 120K over MSRP to get your GT3 spec right now, or you can pay probably still pay a premium on the secondary market, certainly for a 992.1.2 or even a 991.2. These cars have done well. I've been told by certain dealerships, if you buy this particular 911, you can buy it and then trade it in on the same day, sir. And you're going to take a hit, but the profit will go to the dealership, and then we can move you up towards the top of the list and maybe get you that allocation. So again, I don't like that. I could do that, guys. I absolutely could do that, but I don't see that as good business. I don't like doing business that way. Okay? I don't want to feel like I'm being gamed. Like, come on, And by the way, there are guys who are willing to do it. As I said, I've paid premiums for cars. I've paid more than I should over the years, many times. I'm a realist. I'm honest with you guys. But I don't like this politicking, specifically that Porsche does, but it's not just Porsche. Okay? Ferrari does it too, probably more so. Legendary, right? The kind of the shell game, not the shell game, but some of the games the dealerships play. I'm sorry, it just is what it is. So what I will say is I don't see much changing. These cars will remain in demand. The depreciation curve, will there be some depreciation with GT3s over the years, depending? Possibly, but you're probably going to do okay. If you can get them at MSRP, you certainly will. Okay? And it's not going to tank on depreciation. The market, I claim, we don't know what the macro economy will do, of course, but I claim all things considered equal, all other things being equal, the Porsche 911, particularly GT cars, GT3s, GT3 RS, etc., special cars, so to speak, will continue to remain flat. So whether you do it now or do it in 24 months, your variables are going to be things like interest rates, if you're going to finance the car, or other cash flow considerations. Listen, Porsche has not been doing well financially. Okay, for those that don't know, do your homework. They're having a very bad year with some write-offs, China market retooling based on EV demand. Some mistakes. Listen, Mercedes-Benz learned some tough mistakes by some of the crazy retooling they did for EVs and that type of thing, and they're walking it back, and they're hopefully going to be a reasonably financially healthy company someday. But enough about Mercedes. Porsche is feeling some of that pain, agony, and suffering. They're not immune to it. So 911's a premium product. God knows since 2019, they've been up market 20%. Okay. The asking MSRPs anyway, at least 20%, maybe 25%. These are just my estimates. 911 GT3, you're talking about a car that has MSRP, starting around 230,000. Good luck getting one at that. By the time you do options, you're pushing 300K. Easy. 280, 300, 320K, easy on a 911 GT3. Then you start adding these dealer markups, buying your way into an allocation, okay? Depending on who you know, who you are, what money you've spent at that dealership. But I don't see any of these attributes changing anytime soon. Incredible car, maybe the ultimate 911 that you can actually drive and enjoy, but you got to pay for it, okay? You're going to pay for it. And by the way, I still want one, and I'm still shopping around, so we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen in the coming year. Let's take a look at the ZR1. So look, guys, I told you this would be an episode on the tale of two markets. 2026 now, Corvette ZR1. Okay, this is still a car that's somewhat constrained and limited in availability, okay? These cars are in tremendous demand, truth. 1,000 plus horsepower. This is a special car. But the ZR1 market is different from the Porsche 911 GT3 market. Hear me out, okay? Once Chevrolet puts the full power of the Detroit General Motors manufacturing machine, actually, it's not Detroit. It's going to be Bowling Green, but you know what I'm talking about. Once the power of Detroit out there at the Bowling Green plant gets behind the ZR1, if Chevrolet can optimize profitability and the premium that they're getting, okay, this upmarket, 200K starting price for a ZR1, which is, a twin turbo Z06 with some other enhancements. Let's be blunt. Okay, it's the same C8 platform with many enhancements, but you're going way up market. Starting point 200K, easily spec'd out to 260, 270 and beyond, potentially. Okay? Don't you think if Chevrolet can sell these like hotcakes, they're going to do it? So when these first hit the streets, you remember the 200K markups, 250K? Let me tell you something. What a difference a year makes. I have been offered allocations, or I shouldn't say that. I've been offered brand new 2026 ZR1s right now between 30K and 50K over. I'll say it again. I have been offered new ZR1s. Me, in negotiation, because I am always negotiating and looking at cars, 30 to 50K over. Now, it depends on spec. The one for 30K was not a desirable spec for me. Maybe for some it would be. But with the options I want, the aero kit, all these other things, the right color, you're still looking at 50K over, probably. Okay? You might be able to do a little bit better. What do we know about the Corvette market? Without exception, well, maybe the 2019 ZR1 one-year car. That was a legit limited one-year car, 2019 ZR1. Every other Corvette, regardless, without exception, has gone down in value. They've depreciated and the market has softened. Write it down, take it to the bank. I said it. You might find a couple of anomalies if you really do your research and analysis. But for the most part, the Corvette market is going to soften. Regardless, Z06, Stingray when it first came out, all of them, ZR1 is going to soften. Make no mistake. And listen, I'm already proved correct. You can argue with me if you want. But when they came out, there were 200K, 250K asking price over sticker. Now, they're right at 100 over. There are still some dealerships showing 120, 150. They're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. It's already doing this. It's already the reverse hockey stick. Now, I talk to a lot of car people. I talk to a lot of dealerships. I talk to a lot of people who trade cars. These dealers will tell you, oh, sir, let me tell you something. The ZR1 is never going to go down in value. 2027, they're going to be at least 200K over. No, they're not. No, they're not. Dealers lie, boy. And by the way, I get it. They're salesmen. I have nothing to do with that. I'm a businessman myself, okay? But these car dealers, listen, how do you know a car dealer may or may not be telling you something completely accurate? Their lips are moving. You can't necessarily trust your salesman and the Corvette guy. I always love hearing about the Corvette guy at the dealership. Yeah, it's a salesman. Okay, well, they're a Corvette specialist. It's a salesman. Why is it wrong to call somebody what they do and what they are? Be proud of it. Car salesman, you can make a ton of money. You can get rich doing it. Don't try to, well, no, listen, I'm a client engagement specialist. I'm a Corvette specialist. You're a car salesman. There's nothing wrong with it. Make a lot of money doing it. God bless you. But I digress. Listen, when I bought my C8 Stingray, I paid a premium for it. I don't regret it. I knew what I was doing. Okay? And I knew the market would eventually adjust down. I've been in this hobby a long time. Corvette market always goes down. Anyone who tells you the Corvette market is going to go up over time and the value of these Corvettes is going to go up, they're wrong. Walk away from them. Even the ZR1. I don't care. It's not going to. Yeah, certain museum pieces and what have you, maybe they'll do better than a Stingray. Stingrays are tanking. Okay? I paid a premium for my Stingray. When I traded in, I took a hit on it. I wasn't one of the first with a Stingray C8. I wasn't one of the first with a C8 Z06, but I was early on both cars. I had a C8 Stingray before most people. I had a C8 Z06 before most people. I still have my C8 Z06, and I love that car. One of my favorite cars. I do not regret buying it at all, and I don't regret paying somewhat of a premium. But I didn't pay $100,000 over sticker. And by the way, guys, here's more evidence. When I was in the market for a C8 Z06, I had multiple dealerships tell me, sir, this car is going to be limited. You're going to be good for 2 or 3 years. Pay $100,000 for this car over market, over MSRP, because it's going to stay flat. You're probably not going to lose anything at all. Wrong. And I knew they were wrong. I knew they were full of it. They're trying to sell cars. But, lie to me, right? Like, and by the way, nobody has a crystal ball, but my crystal ball is better than any dealership. Your buddy CJ, what I'm telling you tonight, write it down, take it to the bank. I'm telling you. ZR1 market will soften just like the Z06 did, just like the Stingray did. Now, will the curves look different? Yes. I'm not saying it's going to tank like the Stingray market did. I'm not saying it's going to tank like the Z06 market did to an extent. Z06 lesser than the Stingray, depending on, now when you start looking in the used market, certain years over other years, certain features, maybe you see some weird, I don't want to say anomalies, but you see some interesting trends with the curves. But in general, they made more Stingrays than anything else. The Chevy, Detroit manufacturing machine got behind it. And there's a glut of the cars in the market. It's a good time to buy a Stingray. It's a good time to buy a Z06. It is not a good time to buy a ZR1. Here's my conclusion for you. Let me give it to you straight. This is not the right moment to buy a ZR1 unless you don't care. If you don't mind going 30, 50, 60, 80K over market, over MSRP, go ahead and buy your ZR1 and enjoy it, okay? But I'm here to tell you, the market, just like every other Corvette, has already softened on the ZR1s. I'm in the market. I will tell you. I've done my research. I talked to a lot of people. I've been negotiating on cars. I am going to buy a ZR1. Would I buy a GT3 instead if the right opportunity came along? Yes. I'm going to buy a ZR1, okay? That's where I'm leaning right now. I just don't think this is the right moment. If the right deal came along right now, I would do it. But I'm going to tell you guys, I'll say to you as I would say to my friends, because you are my friend. If you're listening to this podcast and we're friends in this hobby, and I'll tell you, sit on it. Let's see where things are at late Q1 into Q2 2026. Let's see where the ZR1 market is. Let's look at Q3. Let's look at once, we're lining up the 2027s. How's that going to look? I'm telling you, fellas, the Chevrolet manufacturing machine will get behind this, just like they did with the Stingray, just like they did with the Z06, and these cars will be available closer to MSRP. Facts. It might still be hard to get an allocation, but I do believe that this market is not done contracting. It's already contracted in the premium these dealers are commanding, and it will continue to contract. Listen, I don't know that these cars will ever be available sub MSRP, but I say let it ride. Let it ride. Let more of the 2026s hit the market. Because, guys, it is supply and demand. And your buddy CJ, again, I'm not a hater. I don't have any issue with people spending their money how they choose. And I don't have an issue with dealerships making money. Okay? I don't. I really don't. Because we all can speak with our feet and speak with our checkbook, right? You either buy the car or you don't. 1,000 horsepower special car, the ultimate supercar out of Chevrolet and the Corvette brand. It can't get any bigger, badder, and faster. Well, we were saying that back when the C4 ZR1 came out, and the C5 Z06 and all this. We didn't think it could get any better, right? And it just keeps getting better, guys. What I'm going to tell you is this is indeed the special car. It's the king of the hill by way of Corvettes right now, but it's not going to be a one-year car like the 2019 ZR1. These things will soften and will come down. So this is not the right time to buy your C8 ZR1. You're going to be able to do better with the financial aspects if you wait on it a little bit. That's my suggestion. Guys, I wanted to come on here tonight and just share some thoughts on a tale of two super premium, super sports car markets. Porsche 911 GT3 versus Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. Tell me, did I get anything wrong? Do you disagree? That's okay. We could still be friends, but you got to leave me those comments. Guys, just a few thoughts. Your buddy CJ loves you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I'm so glad to be re-engaging with you guys. Leave me those comments. Give me a like and subscribe. Until I see you on the next one. Peace.